Hey, everybody. It's the off night. You know what that means? That means all the comics that we know and love that ply their trades in the clubs and in the colleges and on the road, they have the night off. And they're either back home or they're out hanging with their friends. And that's what we do here on the off night. It's all your old friends, all your comedian friends that get together. And we talk about our lives, our gigs, and the current events. And I'm your host, Mark Sweetman. Normally, we're introduced by Andy Jensen. Andy has a big audition tonight, so we've excused him for the night. But, we got some of our regulars here. And first of all, I'd like to say this is, we're broadcasting. If you recognize the background here, we're broadcasting from our West Coast studios, which is basically my son's apartment in North Hollywood, California. And the weather's great here. And not only is the weather great, but the Eastern time zone studio is in suburban Detroit, Michigan, and they had snow, and it was like 89 today. So
here in LA,
well, that's what I mean. In LA, it was 89. In Michigan,
beautiful here.
Here's my lovely bride and our poet laureate, who's going to bring us the in the news poetry that we always start our show with. That's Susan. Anyway, do you want to read it off of that, or I got it on the screen here if you want?
I can read it off.
Okay, so and this is kind of new. I got a swivel here, so watch this. Ready?
Watch out for the mess.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I already said it was my son's apartment, so I think mess is assumed.
Moving a little bit of mess out of the way.
Exactly.
Well, this is Mom.
Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah. Here we go. Here's my bride. Here's my bride, Susan. Take it away with our topical poem.
Okay. I'll do my best. We didn't have a poem last week, so I felt like I couldn't skip another week. But you moved the show to Tuesday last week, right?
That was also unavoidable.
Yeah, and I have a commitment on Tuesdays, so actually have a life outside of this guy. Okay, here's the poem. Let's get right to it. The off night will be on today, the podcast coming from far away. But what is in the news, you say? While you broadcast from L.A., scorpions are in Egypt now, aroused by storms. Really? Wow. Liverpool car blast in the UK arrested 3, I heard them say. Libya has a presidential race, but just who would you embrace? Candidate is Gaddafi's son. He has decided he will run. COVID surging now in Europe. Listen up, you need to hear it. Low vaccine uptake, experts say. Austria shutdown on the way. Britney Spears will now be free. Hope she spends her millions all on me. The SpaceX toilet, it got broken. Astronauts in diapers, NASA has spoken. Thank you.
All right, and we swivel back. Look at that. I got a cameraman that can swivel back for me. Thank you, Susan. That'll give us a little bit of things at least notes to go back to if we get stuck here. But we don't ever get stuck because of our usual host of friends that show up, and one of our favorites is with us again tonight. He's I think I've known him 35 years now. We've worked on the road maybe 3 times, and that's enough to become lifelong friends in the comedy business, let me tell you. And I might talk about that tonight too. He's from New York, which gives us another angle. He's also done radio, which is great for us because he's a pro and he helps us out in that area. Anyway, let's stop talking about him. Let's bring him out here. Here he is, Sam Greenfield, everybody.
Hi, everybody. A great pleasure to be here as always.
I was talking
ahead,
about.
sorry, please.
I was talking about how what a great business is in because we really only maybe work together 3 times, and in this business you spend a week with each other, and it's a very intense week because you've got 23 hours to kill, and then you do an hour show, and so you spend a lot of time together. And there was a condo back then. I don't know what it's like now. I don't do road work like I used to.
Probably still a condo.
Probably. But anyway, last week I I happened upon Rich Scheidner, and
Ah,
Rich and I hadn't worked together in. I'm gonna say 89. No, probably 91. So that's 30 years easy, and picked up like it never ended.
that's right.
It was like, and so few people know that don't know rather that I have 3 kids if they follow me here, or not 8 kids if they follow me here. Rich had no idea. Rich, I was still that 31-year-old, and he was still
What?
that.
He wasn't following your career?
No, he wasn't following my career.
He
I
was
was.
married to Carol. He was married to Carol.
He was not married to her when I last saw. I mean, they had just split up in about the second time I worked with him back in 85 or 84. They had just broken up.
Yes, because here's what happened. There was a club. I can't remember which club, but I believe it was in Atlanta. I don't know.
I know the story you're talking about, where
that he slapped his hand so hard he caused
Yeah.
a bruise.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was on Carol. What the hell was her last name?
Carol Leifer.
Carol Leifer.
Right.
She was on stage, and the people listening don't know. She was on stage, and he thought she had gone too long, and he slapped his wrist as one would, in normal circumstances, point to one's wristwatch.
Wristwatch, yeah.
Right. In other words, you go, you're on too long, pointing to. He hit his wrist so hard to indicate that she had gone long that you could hear him from the audience.
And that broke up the marriage?
Well, it didn't help. A slight pointing to the wrist might have sufficed. And then years went by, like 30 years, and she was at a party, and she met this woman. She didn't have, at the time, a gay bone in her body. And she met this woman, and they fell in love.
Wow.
And she is now with this woman.
Well, and I don't think it was 30 years, because they've been together at least 15, I think.
The woman
with Carol.
Yeah, I would say 15 or more.
Yeah, well, they were more than that, because they were together when she was writing with Seinfeld. Yeah.
I love that story, by the way, about her and Seinfeld, that the first couple of years of the Seinfeld show, the people who were writing were John Heyman, Steve Scrovan, like that.
Right.
And they were all Larry David's friends.
Yeah.
And so one day, after the first year, Jerry said to Larry, okay, in the second or the third year, it's going to be my friends.
My friends. There you go.
And the only thing that I enjoyed immensely out of this story, and I enjoyed it immensely, was that John Heyman got fired.
You're not a friend of John's?
John Heyman was one of the 2 or 3 worst experiences of my comedic life.
Really?
He and I and Ron, you remember Ron Darien?
I remember Ron Darien.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, and this won't help you, but for those of you who don't know, in the movie Raging Bull, when Jake LaMotta is performing at the strip club.
Okay.
And he's doing that thing about, so give me a stage where this bull here can rage. Okay. The drummer in the strip club is Ron Darien.
Okay.
One of the nicest people you'd ever want to meet.
Now I'll have to watch that again, because I'll recognize Ron Darien if I saw that scene.
But just one of the nicest guys.
I'm sure I didn't. I didn't know him when Raging Bull came out in 1980. But Heyman was a dick. Heyman. I'll give you an example. When he wanted to talk to me. Okay, so instead of just saying,
Sam, can I talk to you for a minute as I would do with you, or
Mm-hmm.
as you would do with me? He
Right.
went like this, Sam, and would like, come here.
The wave.
Yeah. Okay, like that. When we first worked together, which was in DC at Garvin's, he introduced me as Jeff Greenfield.
Oh, that's the Chicago Sun
The,
Times journal.
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
CNN, all that shit.
Right. Yeah.
So this is how he introduced me. This is exactly how he did it. Sam, and he would like puff his cigarette and blow it up and think, Sam, I'm very sorry that I got that wrong, but Jeff Greenfield's a very good friend of mine, and I get them confused. And I said, because the names Jeff and Sam are so completely the same. And he goes, well, that's not what I meant. I said, listen, don't take this the wrong way. I couldn't metaphysically care less.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, you got it wrong. My name's Sam. His name's Jeff. You got it wrong. That's all. Do you understand, Jimmy?
Oh, hold on here.
So when I did a bit about Rockville, Maryland, which for those of you who don't know, and I expect that's for everybody, is the second largest city in Maryland. Silver Springs, Baltimore is the biggest,
Right.
and then Rockville, Maryland.
Yeah, that's the one that's just north of the
DC.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Big fucking suburb.
Yeah.
And so he says to me, I really wish you wouldn't do that. In fact, I'm going to tell you not to do it. I go, really? Why? Well, because I do a bit about a town in Maryland called Skaggsville. I said, uh-huh. And I don't want you to do that. I said, uh-huh. Okay, so don't do it. I said, I don't know if you're aware of this, but at no time during your instructions to me did you say please. So I don't understand this level of instructive coercion that you're laying on me. So, and this never stopped. This never ever stopped with him. And at one point, we were performing in Ocean City, Maryland, which is a beach resort.
Yep.
In Ocean in Maryland.
Yeah, I've worked there before.
Yeah, it was fun. And so we pull into the club where we're performing, right?
Uh-huh.
And we're really, really early. We're very early. So early that there's like 5 people in the club, because what they're there for is to eat and then see the show. So,
Right.
you get there early, so you would eat, and there's like no one there. And John Heyman, I thought he was going to have a stroke. And I said, what's the matter? He goes, there's like 5 people here and there's no Jews. And I said, so what? He goes, most of my humor is like New York Jewish. I said, John, they're here to eat. They're here to have, like oysters and, crab cakes. And, it's a resort. Take it easy. And Darian said, Jesus Christ, is he going to have a heart attack? I said, I don't get it. I said, Jesus, take it easy. So earlier that day, we were driving somewhere, and we pull into a parking lot. And there's a guy on a bicycle. And as John pulls into the parking lot, he almost hits the guy with his car.
Wow.
And so, he literally was like, there's an old joke, another coat of paint, he would have killed him. Okay. And so, so the guy said, man, what, be careful. Now, if it had been me, as soon as he said, be careful, I would have immediately said, I am so sorry. Are you okay? I missed you.
Right.
I'm very glad I missed you. Are you all right? And he would have said, yes. My bad. John says to him, hey, pal, take it easy. You're alive. Okay.
Oh,
Whoa.
So Ron Darien looks at me, and I like Ron. We got along great.
Yeah.
And by the way, what you said about, you like someone immediately.
Right.
By the same token, you know immediately when you hate somebody.
That's pretty true.
Yeah. Okay. So Jason Dixon from Kansas City, love that kid. Chip
Uh-huh.
Chinnery, love that guy. Okay. Heyman, pray for his death. So so Ron Darien looks at me and says, Sam, I don't know you. You know, I like you, but I don't know you. But I'm going to tell you something. And I want to know how you feel about this. I didn't know where he was going with this. And he said, if I had been on that bike and he had said that to me, I would have punched him right in the mouth.
Wow.
And I said, I have never been in a physical altercation in my life. I have never hit another human being. And I would have hit him. I would have hit him.
I can't see Ron Darien hitting anybody.
No. Well, I'm the same way. I've never hit anybody. Christ, I'm 3'8". No, I mean, I just can't.
Do I remember Ron correctly? Did he wear the same thing on stage every night or every show?
I have no memory of that.
I somehow I remember him having, and it wasn't outrageous like costuming, but it was just different enough that you knew, you're either not going to see him out in public in this, or if you did see him, you'd know it was him right away because nobody else wore anything like that.
My memory of his attire was he played like a little piano kind of thing, right? Like boom, boom, boom,
Right.
And my memory of him was he played it like boom, 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 right? And he would go, an instrument so intense, it only has low notes. That's what I remember. Low notes. That's what I remember. And so, yeah. So when Heyman got canned, there were other people, who I liked, but Steve Scrovan,
Did he do stand up, Scrovan?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I just met him for the first time. I guess it was about 7 or 8 years ago now. When I hate when I can't remember names like this, but the guy who was played Raymond's cousin on Everybody Loves Raymond. What Freddie?
His cousin?
Fred. Yeah, Fred. He's a
Fred Stoller.
Fred Stoller. Fred Stoller had
the invited only Fred I know in comedy.
Yeah, Fred Stoller had invited me to a film premiere at the Egyptian at Mann's Egyptian Theater on Hollywood Boulevard.
Sure.
And Scrovan was the director. So at the after party, I met him for the first time, and of course he was. And by that time, he wasn't doing writing or he was a big shot on Everybody Loves Raymond. So I got to basically.
How are you going to help me do this?
Yeah, exactly. I got to basically suck up to him a little bit. So
I got a Fred Stoller story for you.
I love Fred. Fred.
Sweet guy.
Fred. Well, when he found out my daughter had a bone marrow transplant, and he just asked me. He says, "I have some extra money." This is like at the end of the year. Probably was doing his taxes or something. He said, "Just tell me why I should donate to your cause." Let me know. And I told him about my daughter having a bone marrow transplant and having sickle cell anemia. And I said, "You can, donate to the University of Michigan Hospital, the Sickle Cell Association, or the or Make-A-Wish," which was
sure
kind to my daughter too. And he ended up giving to all three, and I thought that was
what a kind thing to do.
He did. I wasn't just the only one he did that for. He put this out on Facebook and was like giving money away left and right, which I thought was
what a kind-hearted thing to do.
Isn't that something? And that's what as much comedy as I loved of his, and as long as he's been in it and all the shows and everybody recognizes him as soon as they see him. That's what I remember him for. What a great guy!
Well, of course you would.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you would remember one. So here's my story.
Okay.
It's me in Ocean City. It's me, my girlfriend Mary Ellen, who I was crazy about. Oh my God. She broke my heart. She left me for my best friend.
Who was your best friend?
Norm Baker, oh man,
And how did you know him?
from Oneonta, I was a dorm director and he was one of my ERAs.
Okay, all right.
Oh my, you know what he said to me? Aren't you glad it was me and not some faceless entity?
Oh, are they still together?
No, let me tell you what happened.
Okay.
Because I did something I've never told any. I mean,
Before you go on with this,
yeah.
I have to be parenthetical again to tell the audience this is how comics talk. We'll spend an hour trying to tell one story and be parenthetical, and it'll shoot off this way and that way. But
oh yeah, absolutely. We have no attention span.
We'll get each other back on track here.
No, we have no attention span.
It's a Fred Stoller story that breaks off into his girl left him for his best friend's story. So here we go.
But the thing is, all the stories are completely entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's fun. You know,
that's why I thought this made it such a great podcast. You know?
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. Yes. So Fred, it's me. Oh, so now this woman, I think she married the guy, and I think they had a kid or two. She dumped him, and then married another guy to whom she's been married for over 30 years.
Wow.
And they have 2 more kids, and she now owns a chocolate store in Charlottesville, Virginia. She's a chocolatier, and it's called Chocolatesville.
In Charlottesville.
Chocolate. And so I made my, I decided to do something. I decided to try to reach out to women who I had really strong relationships with. By the way, your hair looks great. Great. Anyway, so that I have relationships with, just to see how they're doing. Not to rekindle.
Sure.
How you doing? And so she was one of them. Now, when she and I,
run the air here. Hey guys, run the air.
So
my wife and my kid are playing Pokemon Go next to me here.
Well, I would too. So when
Michael's amazing.
Yeah, all right.
Gee, why don't you not tell me about it? So anyway, sorry. So when
all right, chocolatier in Charlottesville. All right, go on.
Right. So when I saw her, so when we broke up, when she dumped me, and she did, my best friend at the time, we haven't seen each other in years. He said to me, I want to ask you a question. He said, are you done with her? Is this over? And I said, yeah. He said, there's no doubt in your mind. I said, no. Okay. He said, I can't tell you how happy I am you're not with her. And I said, why? He said, she is the most boring fucking human being I have ever met in my life. He said, I had to pinch my arm to listen to her so I would stay awake. How the hell did someone like you, who's as funny as you are, stick with her? I said, I'm stunned by this. Jesus Christ. And I said, Jesus Christ. Well, I don't know. I liked her. He said, was she like the best? Was she like great in bed? He goes, I went, yeah. He goes, okay, well, all right, then I'll let it go.
I'll let it go.
and then I have all my nieces are grown women. They're all grown women. And one of them was the former agent for Rachel Brosnahan, who played the amazing Mrs. Maisel. Okay.
The marvelous.
Yeah, and marvelous. And once again, she said to me, I heard that you and Mary Ellen are no more. And I said, yeah, we're done. And she hugged me.
Oh, man.
And she goes, oh, thank God. I go, what the fuck? What is this? And she goes, how did you stay with her? Jesus Christ. She never talked. I said, well, I talk a lot and you talk a lot. No. She never talked. It was like this is my girlfriend. You better talk to her because what is Jesus? So And then, so we're talking, I reached out to her, right? And we're talking. And as she's talking, I say to myself, my God, they were right. Jeez, they were right. Holy shit. Oh my God. She could put a speed freak to sleep. I can't believe it. And so I did this with a couple, more. So it was me, her, Rob Bartlett.
Oh, Rob Bartlett.
And his wife, Sharon, and Fred Stoller. Now, Fred Stoller, we were all performing. And Fred, there was a girl at this club, who came to the comedy club as a guest, an audience member who had the hots for Fred. And she was a little zoftig and was just dying for Fred. So she came back to the condo to be with Fred. And I was happy for him. I had Mary Ellen, he had, Sharon, and I was happy for him. So Mary Ellen and I are in bed, and this girl is walking to the bathroom and is holding a pillow to her front because she doesn't have anything on, other than, she didn't bring like anything with her.
She was using it as a cover.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, she was naked. But her ass was completely exposed. So her front was covered, but her ass was completely exposed. And I said to Mary Ellen, I said, does she know her ass is completely exposed? And Mary Ellen said, I don't think she cares. I said, well, she said, and if she has to cover something, it would be the front. I said, yeah, I guess you're right. So 5 minutes later, she comes out of the bathroom, and now the front is exposed. And I said, so now
the story's taken a turn.
Yeah, yes. And so now I look at Mary Ellen and I go, well, evidently she doesn't give a shit what's showing. And Rob walks up to me and goes, I could be wrong, but I see vagina. Exactly like that. I could be wrong, but I think I see vagina. And I'm crying, laughing. I'm crying. And he walks by me again. He goes, am I wrong? Or is there an exposed vagina in the house? And oh my God. Oh my God. And I found out something, and you're the only person I've ever told this to.
Oh man.
And now also 4 people listen.
Right. Yeah.
That's enjoy.
Yeah.
For 25 years, Rob worked for Imus.
Yep.
Okay. 25 years. And did well, for himself by him.
Sure.
Every time he was
kind of like our other joke Jackie Martling did with what's his name with
Stern.
Howard Stern. Yeah.
Jackie Martling screwed himself so badly with Stern, it defies description. He was making money with Stern, and he asked for a raise, which he didn't need.
Right.
Okay. And in other words, he was making like $175,000 a year. That's a guess, but that's a pretty good guess. Okay.
Well, plus he parlayed a lot of that notoriety of being on the show into larger live performance fees too.
But that's why he screwed up.
Yeah.
Because he was making. Yes, you're right. As Rob did with Imus. I'll be performing at the Catch a Rising Star in Princeton, New Jersey. Me and Tony Powell. Please come. Because he worked for him too.
Right.
And so he says to Stern, I want a raise. Now he's making $175 a year. All he's doing is writing down little jokes and passing them to Stern. That's it. For $175,000.
Yeah.
And Stern said, I don't think you should get more money. I think that you're making nice money off me. You're making more money off me with the gigs.
Right.
And he goes, well, what are you asking for? $250. And Stern said, well, you're drunk. No. And he quit. He quit.
Wow.
So everybody who knew him said, go back to him, get on your knees and blow him.
Exactly.
Okay. Just blow him till he says, this is better than a woman, because what you're doing is insane. And he got back with him.
Yeah.
And then one day out of nowhere, he goes, nah, fuck this. I quit.
Wow.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Nobody really associates him with anything else. I mean,
No.
it's not like he picked up with anything else.
Why would you?
Yeah.
So this is what I found out. Rob worked with Imus for 25 years, right?
Right.
Now, my doctor, I know who I've talked to you about before, my vaunted hematologist who saved my life, Dr. Rappaport, right, was also Rob's doctor.
Oh, okay.
And we've become friends because he likes me. And he said, I'm the reason he got into medicine. Because when he told me I had cancer, I don't know if I told you this. When I told him,
you did mention that. In fact, you said
that he said, "Is this going to kill me?"
Right.
And he said no. And I said, "Okay, what do we do?" He said, "Most people fall apart." I said, "Well, once I found out it wasn't going to kill me, let's. What are we doing?"
Right.
I mean, I wasn't happy to hear it, but so that was good. And we're talking one day, and he says, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know I'm telling you this, but I trust you. So that's why I'm telling you this, because you're my friend, and I'm telling you. He hated Imus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well.
No, but no one ever knew this. No one ever knew this. Everybody assumed they had a very cordial, good, strong relationship. And he said to me, he said, I'm going to tell you something, and you can't tell anyone. And I said, are you a drug runner? And he broke up laughing. And he says, yes, but that's not the reason I can't. So he said, yes, but that's not it. I go, what is it? He goes, you know that he worked for Imus. I go, yeah. He goes, he hated him. He couldn't stand him. He couldn't stand him. He couldn't stand Bo Dietl. He couldn't stand any of them.
Wow.
And I said, well, why would you? And he goes, I don't know. Well, I said, what I'm trying to say in my own halting, retarded way is, why did he hate him? And he goes, because Imus is a dick. Imus is a bad guy. And I said, oh, okay. And he goes, but he hated him. He said so one day I get on the Imus show, and Imus's wife, who I really couldn't stand, Deirdre, oh, Jesus God, gave me chills.
How many wives, what number wife was that?
Number two.
Number two, okay.
Yeah, she was with him when no. But when he got fired for his remarks about black women.
Yep.
The nappy-haired hose thing.
Yeah. Nappy-headed hose, I believe.
Nappy-headed. She had just, her book on whatever it was, on being a vegan, okay, had just dropped. And then he gets fired and the book is gone.
And she couldn't get any spots.
Couldn't get shit. Nothing.
Yeah.
So, when that happened, he says, Imus, he does everything that I think wrong that you could do. For example, let me see. I said something really racist. Who should I have on to verify, to validate me? Oh, I know, Al Sharpton. No. What you do, you don't bring any black person on. What you do is you say, I did a really stupid thing, a horribly stupid thing. I'm a moron. I apologize. I can't make this right, but I'm going to do everything. That's what you do. You bring out, I mean, nothing against Sharpton, but you don't bring him on. That doesn't help you. Jesus Christ. So anyway, So we're talking about on the show, we're talking about his vegan, blah, blah, blah. So his son, Wyatt, uh, is a uh, is a rodeo champ.
Really?
Oh yeah. So I said to him, so the son's there, and I said, I'm curious about something. I said, you're a vegan too. He says, yeah. I said, but you have no hesitation in getting on a horse and riding down a 2-year-old calf
Calf. And then
and
tying it up.
chasing that calf and knocking that calf down and knocking the calf down and roping the calf and tying the calf's legs off and then standing over the calf like you're Ali and you just knocked out Sonny Liston.
Yeah, he's not eating
No, he's terrifying the thing into pissing its pants.
Right. Right.
If you're going to be a vegan, don't terrify the calf.
I disagree.
Aren't some vegans vegans because of the diet rather
They're
than
all,
the
from
politics?
what I understand, vegans are vegans. It has nothing to do with diet. It has to do with everything else but.
I tell you what, we my wife and I have proven how unvegan we are. Our last 2 meals here in LA. We
Unvegan?
Unvegan, how unvegan we are.
We're not vegan.
We went to the two restaurants we went to. Where we ate, we'll tell you everything about it. We went to Nick and Steph's Steakhouse.
Well, that's the end of that.
Downtown, yeah. And then last night we were at the Wood Ranch. And any place called the Ranch is not going to.
Yeah, seriously. Really?
They didn't even. At least Nick and Steph's had a vegan option. The Wood Ranch didn't even have an option. It's kind of like it's if you ordered tea, they would put some bovine some bovine juice in there somehow.
See, this is my feeling. Okay, people who claim to be vegans, I believe that there's something wrong with them because when you make a decision on how you eat that late in life, because no one's 9 years old and says I'm going to be a vegan.
Right.
So you've made a decision to change the way you eat. And you remember Steve Seagren?
Yeah.
I told you this story. I stayed at Steve's brother-in-law house.
Yeah, over on the west side of Michigan.
Right. I mean, right on Lake Michigan.
Okay.
I mean, walk outside and there's Lake Michigan, and it was beautiful. Oh man! And his brother's, I'm going to say it's his brother because I forget. His brother's job was the guy who drops off newspapers to newsboys.
Okay.
That's what he did.
That's legitimate.
Oh yeah. And he had 3 kids.
Astronauts
and they had 3 kids, and they were all vegans, and they were Buddhists.
Mm-hmm.
And because they were vegans, the farting never stopped. The farting never stopped. Nice people. Oh, and they slept in what do you call those things? Futons.
Right.
They all slept in separate futons. And they could not have been nicer to me. And I said to the brother, listen, can I borrow your car? And he said, you want to eat meat, don't you? And I said, yes, I do. He goes, take my car. I said, okay. So I took the car, and then I washed it down with mouthwash because I didn't want him to smell it. Because I wanted to be considerate. So
right.
We did that. And nice people, And then this is the best part. Steve was friends with these 2 women who were bee girls. The girls who, there. So one of them hooked up with me, and one of them hooked up with Steve. And as we're leaving the house, I'm walking with Steve and his girl, and another girl appears out of nowhere, and she says to Steve, "Steve, is this your friend Sammy?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Did you let? Where's Claire? Claire is at her house. She'll be over here in a minute." "Hey, Sammy, you and Claire, did you fuck her? Did you fuck her like the dirty whore she is?" I went, "That's not my memory of it, but I seem to have a different recollection, but sure." Just unbelievable, unbelievable. But they were nice. Everybody was nice, but I was stunned by that.
Yeah.
But I took a picture of Lake Michigan.
Yeah, that's
right there, and it was stunning.
Yeah, Michigan looks good. When you grow up around Great Lakes, you kind of take it for granted, but it's
really something.
It's a rare earth find. Really,
it's fabulous.
It's very few places like it on Earth, but
it's fabulous. There's nothing better.
I mean,
I really mean that.
Plus, because of the Great Lakes and the way they were formed by the glaciers and everything, a lot of inland lakes and rivers too, which are awesome.
What is the name of the lake that almost became a Great Lake?
Lake St. Clair.
No, there's another one. It's in New York. I think it's in New York.
Is it after Ontario?
I can't remember. I just can't. But let me tell you about it. There was a woman who ran a club. You know something? It's in Vermont, and God damn it, I can't remember it. There's
a lake in Vermont. It would be on the map.
Not Vermont, but it was so cold there that you had. It was so cold there that you had icebreakers. You had boats that were icebreakers. There was a.
Was it part of the St. Lawrence Seaway?
Kinda, yeah. What was the name of that place? There's a hotel there, a really nice hotel, which I'm never going to remember. It's a chain. It's a chain.
Great Lake.
It's a chain. It was not a Great Lake.
I know.
It was not a Great Lake.
No, you said
mediocre.
One. Mediocre. You said it was. It was
mediocre lake.
You call yourself a lake?
I can't remember. No, it was huge. Oh man, I'm never. Anyway, so she had
somewhere east of Lake Ontario. Then there's a larger.
It has to be. So she had a club there. She had a club there, and so the club had 3 hours, 1 3-hour show.
Yikes!
And the first. Radisson.
My own opinion.
There was a Radisson there. There was a Radisson. That was it. There was
Lake
a Radisson.
Champlain?
Yes. That's it.
That's the name of Lake Champlain?
It.
Okay.
That's it.
That's
so the first part of the show was karaoke. And the second part of the show, they had, by the way, the place held 200 people. Okay? Mm-hmm. And they filled the house. And they had a cover of $15.
Okay, I got Lake Champlain new information here. Finish your story, then I got to go back to Lake Champlain.
Okay, sure, absolutely.
I found in finding Lake Champlain, there's a great paragraph here.
So there's 200 people, right? Two shows.
They turned the crowd?
Yes.
Okay.
I made $6,000.
Hello.
Because it was 200 people, $15 cover, 3,000.
Sounds good to me.
And this, how long ago was this? Hold on. 1989. And better yet, the woman who ran the club invited me back the next week. And I said, well, isn't that a little soon I mean, I'm grateful, but isn't that a little soon to do a rebooking? She goes, oh, no, this isn't for the entertainment. I want you to spend the weekend with me.
Yikes.
And I said, oh, okay. So be it.
So you got
And
paid? Did you get paid for that gig?
in so many ways. And so
Who books that? Anyway. So anyway, here's my Lake Champ. This is just a paragraph in the is it Wikipedia? No, it's from the ChamplainCommittee.org. Oh, I lost him. Ah, for crying out!
no,
Come
I'm
on
here.
back, Sammy.
I'm here.
There he is. Anyway, for a brief period in 1998, which would have been after you were there, the United States government officially recognized Lake Champlain as one of the Great Lakes. The designation allowed Vermont institutions to access the funds reserved for such states which bordered an ocean or a Great Lake, but Midwestern officials were outraged that Champlain might share a designation with their lakes, and after much media attention and hyperbole, Congress rewrote the designation, and Lake Champlain reverted to a Great Lake while retaining the funding opportunities.
So,
Oh no, it reverted to not being a Great Lake, but still got the funding that would have been allowed to them as a Great Lake. But the Midwest states were, I'm sure Michigan was one of them, was so upset about the distinction of Champlain, and the reason they said that was because they were part of the St. Lawrence Seaway watershed.
let
So
me go ahead. I'm sorry.
most of Ontario and Quebec all feeds into the late St. Lawrence Seaway.
I am
So
thrilled.
Canada,
I'm thrilled that they wouldn't allow it, and I'll tell you why.
why?
I think that I really believe that the Great Lakes belong to the Midwest, and I believe that they have the right to belong to the Midwest, and that anything that takes away from that is just wrong. I really do. I think that Lake Michigan, Lake Erie, even though it's partly New York, Lake Erie, Superior, Ontario, well, you know them, Huron.
Yeah.
I think that they belong in the Midwest. I think they're the bailiwick of the Midwest. I think that they deserve to be there. And I think that any Johnny come lately.
We're not going to move them, so they.
No, you're not moving them. And I think that any Johnny come lately who says, "Oh, I want to be a Great Lake too," no. These are the Great Lakes,
Well,
and the rest of it is not, and it's just not.
The well, obviously, it was the people in Vermont that wanted the funding. So when Congress agreed,
I understand that.
Congress agreed to make it not a Great Lake, but still maintain the funding for them. So they took an act of Congress basically for the Lakes, the Big Five to maintain their bigness.
But to me, it's like the old Polish saying of "Tufki Shitsky." I mean, no.
Yeah.
Just no. By the way,
Michigan is the only Great Lake that doesn't border Canada, and so always it's. In a way, the Great Lakes.
Does Erie border Canada?
Erie does border Canada.
Huh.
If you're in Cleveland and you swim across Lake Erie, which is about the only lake you can actually swim across,
you'll be dead.
No, you end up in southern Ontario.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, huh. Lake Erie goes from Detroit to Buffalo, and everything on the other side of the lake is Canada.
I'll be damned.
You get Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York on the U.S. side, and Ontario on the other side of the lake. And it curves a little bit too. It's got that little. It's like the southern part of the lake is like a U shape. It's the northern part of the lake that's sort of like it's the southern border for Canada, basically.
I am now going to change the subject.
Okay. My wife wants me to get to her poem too, so that we discuss some of the things.
This will only take a second.
Okay.
Which I've also said when having sex. So, good night, everybody.
Hello.
So anyway, you've been good to each other. Be good to me.
I'll be here all week, or at least the next 3 minutes. Hello.
60-second man. Anyway,
We
so
got 9 minutes, Mr. Old Man.
oh, sure, it's easy for you to say because you know me. Anyway, so Felicia Rashad, when
Your
Bill
old
Cosby,
classmate. Your
yes,
old
when Bill Cosby was exonerated, that's not
Mhm.
true. When Bill Cosby was set out of jail, he was not exonerated. He was not exonerated. She makes the statement, "Thank God, justice at last." When in fact, his being out of jail had nothing to do with justice. It had to do with the prosecutor made a mistake.
Technicality.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with anything else. Okay. Now, she shouldn't have said it. It was stupid. She walked it back. That was that. Okay. Now, there's a huge scandal going on at Howard University, where she is the dean of the College of Fine Arts. And the scandal is that people in the dormitories are being, and by the way, Howard's not cheap. Howard's very
No,
expensive.
no.
And so they are being subjected to mold in the dorms.
Oh, wasn't yeah,
Rats, roaches.
isn't that what Jesse Jackson was there for when he fell?
Exactly.
Okay.
So now Felicia is there, right?
Uh-huh.
And who is her assistant? Who is her assistant in the College of Fine Arts? Her sister, Debbie.
Okay, Debbie Allen.
Well, yeah, well, there's John F. Kennedy and his Attorney General Bobby. No, that doesn't make any sense to me. And certainly, Debbie is a very smart, with it person. No. Okay, so today, was it today? Today or yesterday? They're asking her questions about this, and I'm practically screaming at the television, going, Felicia, say nothing. Say we're doing everything we can to make this right, and that's it, because you are not good at public statements. And so she talks about, this is being addressed, and we're doing the best we can. No. You're not doing the best you can. There's mold. There's rats. The people are paying $35,000 a year. No, you're screwing this up. And so a reporter, because this is a big story,
Right.
a reporter says to her, what would you say to the parents of these children? The kids are living in tents outside the school. They're living in tents. What would you say to the parents whose children are camped out in tents because it's safer?
We will do whatever we will do whatever we can to make sure this is right. That's
and what does she say? Well, I think it's a good time for us to walk inside now.
Oh, that's nice.
And I said, I thought to myself, you had a 3.8 cum, and yet I'm listening to you sound as stupid as you could sound. I can't believe it. It's unbelievable.
All right, we got to get to the
yes, we do.
We got to get to the news that my wife wrote about, or she'll stop writing us poems. So,
well, then screw that.
Here we go. Ready? What? I'm gonna read
Not
off.
Much of a threat,
I'm gonna read off a topic. You're gonna give me.
You rat.
You're gonna give me a one-liner on it. If you can, if not, we'll go on. If something gets funny, we'll run with it. You know how this works. Let's see. Liverpool car blast. Not really. Oh, here we go. Gaddafi's son is running for president of Libya. My line is his dad didn't even make it past colonel. I don't think he's got a chance. All right.
Wow. Oh, is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead. Give me a Gaddafi line for his son running for president of Libya.
Okay. His campaign slogan is, I'm still Daffy over Gaddafi.
Beautiful.
COVID surging in Europe.
Okay, let me see. COVID surging over in Europe?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see.
Here's one I just came up with off the top of my head. MAGA-ites say, hey, maybe Europe isn't that bad.
Mine would be, you have to halt romance when COVID's in your pants.
Austria, in its third wave, will be shutting down for the first time. So it took them 3 waves for Austria to shut down.
Okay,
So,
let's see.
but you know what? Have you noticed that? Here's my line on that. You notice they wait until after Oktoberfest? I'm a little bit suspicious.
Perfect. That's wonderful.
The
That's
sound.
absolutely That's wonderful.
The hills
I
are.
can't find any pastry to like. That's right.
Britney Spears is now free of her conservatorship, but all it took was her dad to step down.
It's the only thing about her that is free.
Yeah, well,
Sorry.
there you go. SpaceX does the private space flights for NASA, and they've got a broken toilet. NASA's solution was that the astronauts will now wear diapers. That's just not the 2020 the 2021 solution I wanted to hear for the people that brought us microwaves and Teflon. I just expected they would between NASA and SpaceX. Oh, and did you hear what's his name? The SpaceX owner, or at least largest stock, Elon Musk. He sold like billions of dollars of his Tesla stock.
Yes, he did. If you look really hard, you will find me showing no pity.
2 minutes.
Yeah, he's all boned up about the rich maybe having to pay a lot of taxes.
How does he where did his money come from?
We just rode in one of his tunnels today. He I don't know if he created it or if he was the guy who put the money into it. But he was the big mover behind these big hole drillers. So like the tunnel, all these subways in Los Angeles had to be dug through mountains, So
okay.
It wasn't like New York where you open up a street and you dig out, you dig from the surface. These had to be dug from underneath, And so he has the equipment and the cutting
I know what you mean.
things like basically to build those holes. And he's got some here in LA. I know Oprah and Gayle King have ridden him in them before, where he's got like these private subways here in LA that only he uses. So
did you watch by the way, let me
he might be building tunnels for governments and despots and all kinds of things. So
let me make a recommendation to both of you, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm urging you to go see Tick Tick Boom.
Oh, geez, what's that about?
It is written by Juan Lin-Miranda.
Oh, okay.
And it's about a guy. It's about Jonathan Larson, who wrote Rent.
Oh, I like it. I like everything about it already.
And it is Andrew Garfield plays Larson.
Okay.
And he is brilliant. Huh. And it is phenomenal. There was a Screen Actors Guild screening, and I took my daughter, and I said to her, there's going to be a Q&A afterwards with Andrew Garfield and Juan Lin-Miranda. And I said, listen.
Lin-Manuel.
Well, excuse me, you're correct. Lin-Manuel Miranda. And I said, listen. And it was it was sublime. And I said, listen, I don't do Q&As. But I said to her, my daughter, I said, if you want to stay and watch it, she goes, oh, I'm staying, sure. And so she's kind of a cynical kid, like a New Yorker kind of kid, not that,
Right.
And so I leave and I come home and she texts me and goes, my 2 favorite performers in the world, Miranda and Garfield. I can't fucking believe it. I was so happy. Thank you, Dad. And so I said, well, I'm glad you liked it. She said, as soon as I found out it was free, I said, I'm there. So I said, that's my kid. But it was wonderful. It was just good. And I knew he died, Larson.
Right.
But I didn't know how he died. It was an aortic aneurysm.
Yeah, don't spoil
it. Hey, look, he's dead. Let it go. Yeah, he was an aortic aneurysm. Do you know how long Rent ran on Broadway? 12 years. 12 years.
A long time. Hey, here's our big. We went and saw Randy Rainbow. So.
I envy you.
Great show.
I envy you.
He was at the Beacon last week.
You know what's funny? He's in New York, right? And it's the only place I can't see him. It's the only place I can't see him. He's everywhere else.
He wasn't
He's
coming
where?
to Detroit, so that's why we had to come to the West Coast to see Randy Rainbow.
Right. He's in New York. He's from New York, right?
Yep.
It's the only place you can't see him.
Why is that?
He's everywhere else.
He did a show at the Beacon a week and a half ago.
I was out of town.
All right.
I think he's by the way, that's his actual name.
He talked about it.
He's up on the screen behind him. He puts his birth certificate right up there like he's Obama or something. It was actually fine. A birth certificate got laughs. It was hilarious.
You know what I love about him?
What's
he
that?
Shits all over what's her name? Ivanka.
Oh yeah.
He dumps on her like he's a statue, like she's a statue and he's a starling. Okay? I mean, he just absolute. And when he does, when he shows her face, she always looks pissed.
Let me tell you something.
I can't get enough of that.
Something really good about his show for musicians. They were amazing. 2 thumbs up, especially to the woodwinds guy who played the flute, the piccolo, the clarinet, the saxophone.
It was a show. It was a show just watching the band behind him because they're not in the orchestra pit. They're on stage with him, and you just watch him pick up one and drop one and pick up the other.
Yeah.
One guy's carrying he's got electric guitar around his shoulder with the strap while he's got a stand up bass, and he's what I mean. It was just amazing.
he had a drummer and a pianist. And he had the bass player that had both electric bass and the
4-man band.
But this woodwinds musician played everything else, and almost at the same time, he was just swapping out instruments left and right.
One of the things I love about him is and you know this if you play an instrument, he doesn't have to have a band. He
doesn't have to, and
and he chooses to. He chooses to, and I love that about him.
Yeah,
in other words, he could have like a recording.
I thought
he could, and he had a lot of recording, but he sang.
That's okay, but he chooses to have live musicians. I love that about him.
The show was much better than I thought it was going to be. I thought we were just going because we were fanboys, but. It was awesome.
Oh, he's great.
Dad's wrapping it up.
Anyway, the wife and the kids want me to wrap it up because we got a dinner date here. And
are you having meat?
Oh, absolutely.
Probably.
Absolutely. I mean, in fact, we'll probably go to a vegan restaurant and try to order meat.
I love you guys so much. Because if you can't do that, then what's the purpose of going out to eat?
I tell you, here's where you're gonna really tick off a vegan is if you tell them. That the meat is cooked and prepared so well that it melts in your mouth to the point that you won't even think it's meat.
Oh, that's hysterical. That's I get.
You'll think that the cow surrendered.
I get these recipes, and the recipe that I just got, and I'm going to send you this recipe because it's really good.
Okay.
Really good. It's originally Nigerian turkey stew.
Did he just get in the shower?
Yeah, but we're Gabe's.
It's Nigerian turkey stew, but
I like that.
I can't speak for you because you're in the Midwest. It's very hard to find turkey in like to have it there for you. That's not what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say.
There's not a lot of turkey in Nigeria.
Yeah, no. It's hard to. In other words, you can find. What the hell's the word I'm looking for? God damn it!
It's like me with names.
Chicken.
No. But chicken, it's not the kind of cut it is what I'm trying to get to.
Okay.
What kind of cut do you get from chicken? It's
dark meat and light meat.
No. The cut of chicken. The cut. Shit.
In other words,
huh?
Capon is how it's dressed.
No. In other words, it's a
the castrated males.
No. It's a you know what I mean. It's a well, evidently not, but it's a crap.
Well, I don't think we'll be having that tonight.
But anyway, chicken's easier.
Yeah.
And so if you get the Nigerian chicken stew, but it's really good and it's spicy. It is spicy.
Here's something they have out here that I didn't remember from Los Angeles. That every restaurant we've been to so far, this most recent trip, is the Brussels sprouts.
Love Brussels sprouts,
but they're grilled.
Well,
yes, of course.
Asian.
Yeah, they're and some and they don't.
Yeah, that's right.
They don't try to eat. They don't try to even it out. So they'll give you a portion of it, and some of it will be soft and mushy, like you're used to Brussels sprouts, and other parts will be crunchy and crisp because it cooked in the balsamic vinegar.
In other words, there's chicken thighs, and there's chicken. Oh, God damn it! There's chicken thighs, and there's chicken
breasts. And there's
Thank you. It's breast of chicken.
Breast of chicken. Okay.
So it's breast of turkey. Because right now, because you're 4 days, 3 days, 8 days, whatever, away from Thanksgiving, the only cut of turkey you can get is the entire turkey.
That's true.
It's very hard to find breast of turkey. You got to find the whole thing, and so it's very hard to find.
Well,
Oh, by the way, I want you to think about something. I want you to think about this. You have daughters, right?
I do.
And let's say that one of them, although they're not, is in her 40s. Okay.
I'll never live that long, but go ahead.
Yes, you will. Stop doing that.
All right.
You're talking to me. Don't talk about not living that long.
No, okay.
And so,
that's true. I'm talking.
Yeah, please. You'll live to be 90.
I'm talking to play it again and again and again
and again and again until you go,
Sam.
for Christ's sake, Sam, it's enough.
Right.
Okay. So your daughter says to you, listen, I know that you're upset that I've never gotten married, but I want you to know that I met a guy and he defines my world and I really love him and I want you to meet him. And he looks like Steve Bannon. And at that point, you as a father will say, I don't know what act of sin I have to commit to wrest you away from this guy, but I will kill him. I've never seen a bigger slob than Steve Bannon in my life. Have you ever seen a bigger slob?
I tell you what, without his Seinfeld millions, what is he? Does he have anything without that?
Was it Seinfeld?
He was the guy who took I'll have to look up the story again because it wasn't anything he did other than dumb luck that he just dumped money.
He just dumped money.
He was involved somehow with that whole show going into syndication for reruns.
Well,
and he, obviously didn't make as much as Seinfeld, but that's where, but I mean, he did well enough to become the terror that he is, So.
Well, Roger Ailes produced Hot L Baltimore.
Michael's done.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. But Bannon, Bannon just looks like a guy who said, I don't need to stay in shape.
Well, there used to be a phrase when I was a kid that the adults in my family used to use was "death warmed over," and that's what he reminds me of.
He's just such an and Trump keeps talking about this guy's a fat slob. This guy's this is your guy.
Yeah.
He's just such an untoward, just an unseemly pig. Jesus Christ! Right.
Sammy, my wife has asked me to end the show now for the last
Susan
15 minutes.
Looks like I'm losing my mind, losing my time. Take care, kids.
All right.
Stay well.
Hey, thanks everybody for joining us. We'll be here again next Monday night at 8:00.
Yes, we will.
I think I'll be back in Detroit by then. So thanks a lot to Sam Greenfield as always, and I'm going to contact all the other people that said they were going to be here tonight that didn't show up. And
Susan, stay well.
You too.
Another poem by Susan next week. That's always fun. And tries to keep us on track with that, but sometimes that
what the hell?
Yeah.
I'll get out the whip next time.
So
if you're into that.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter if I am or not. It's if you're into it. So
all I know is Washington beat the Super Bowl champs.
All right.
Did they really?
Yes.
Yep, maybe
No,
something.
more topic.
All right.
Save it for next
All right,
week.
we'll save it for next
Love
week.
you all. Take care. Be well.
Take care. Yep. I'll see you. And